We continue our lesson on these commandments, 7 and 10, commandment about justice, stealing, theft, and the necessity of reparation, the necessity of paying back for what we have taken unjustly. And we know that there is no pardon if we don't give back, because it is a sin of injustice, and you cause an injustice if you remove what is not yours, but if you keep it, you stay in the injustice. This is why there is no pardon before stopping this injustice to continue by giving back. And this is why we see that in the life of Jesus, when he met Zacchaeus, this rich publican, and actually this man stole a lot of money from his business, and he confessed his fault, and he told Jesus that he was willing not only to give back, but even to give back 4 times what he took. You can see a true and genuine penitence. He is not only giving back, but even giving back more to compensate for his sin. Are we obliged to repair damage unjustly done to the property of others? You can see we speak about damage unjustly done to the property of others, or to pay the amount of the damage as far as we are able. Yes, as far as we are able. We are obliged, yes. And we have that in the Bible. If any man hurt a field or a vineyard, and put in his beast to feed upon that which is other man's, he shall restore the best of whatsoever he has in his own field or in his vineyard, according to the estimation of the damage. We can see that there is an obligation. Now some other case. If we have unknowingly, by purchase or gift, obtained possession of a stolen property. You have bought a phone in Karangore Market, second-hand phone, and it is a stolen property. You have paid for it. But now someone comes and tells you, this is my phone, look here. This is my name or my initials, I don't know. This is my phone, give me back my phone. You are obliged to give back, even if you paid for it. You are bound to restore it to the rightful owner as soon as we learn the truth. we are just possessors of a stolen good only as long as we do not know the goods were stolen. But the day you discover that this good was a stolen one, you cannot keep it. You must give up the property. And actually, even the justice is saying the same. It is what we call resell. When you store, you keep stolen goods, or you use, or you buy stolen goods. Yeah. If one refuses to restore stolen property or to repair damage he has unjustly done to the property of others, he cannot be forgiven. There is no absolution. The priest is not allowed to give absolution to this person. And of course, he will not also obtain forgiveness from God, because there is no contrition. And if he wants to cheat the priest and he doesn't say that he doesn't want to give back, or he says, yes, I will give back, but he doesn't want to give back, he makes a sacrilege confession, meaning that he is not forgiven and he is adding a new sin of sacrilege. This is why you can never cheat the priest, actually. Or maybe you can cheat the priest, but you cannot cheat God. And even if the priest gives absolution, it will be invalid. It's impossible to cheat God and to get absolution. This is why some people, they go for confession and they want to be forgiven, but they know it is wrong. No, they know that, and they try to lie to the priest to get absolution. But it cannot work. Maybe you can cheat the priest, but God will make the absolution invalid, or you will make actually yourself the absolution being invalid, because you don't come with the right disposition. If you don't have a perfect contrition, if you don't have contrition, you don't want to give back, the absolution will be invalid. It's why people who try to get absolution lying to the priest are totally wrong, because they are not getting absolution actually, and they add another sin. Now, as long as one does not sincerely intend to make reparation, his sin will not be remitted. Even though he entreat divine pardon with weeping or seek to appease divine justice by fast and penances, you know, and that is a Kenyan problem. So many people have built their house with stolen money or on stolen lands. And how can you be forgiven? This is your house, you live in this house, but this house, stolen money. And now it's difficult, because what do? You cannot keep this house. You should give back the money. And you know, you can never enjoy stolen money. Even if you have stolen this money to people, you cannot give back, because You even don't know who you have stolen, I don't know. You cannot say, okay, yes, this money was not mine, but I cannot give back because I don't know who are the people. I cannot give them back. That is not an excuse. Because you cannot enjoy stolen money. It means if you don't know who you should give back, whom you should give back, you have to give back to a charity work, to a church, to some charities. But you can never keep or enjoy stolen money. So this person who has built a house like that, he cannot keep it. He has to sell it and give back the money to the people he stole, or to give the money to the church or to I don't know what, but he cannot keep this house if he wants to be forgiven. And I feel many people will go to hell because they will never be able to do that. They know they are guilty, but it's too difficult for them to solve the problem. And they keep enjoying stolen money, but they will die in their sin. Justice requires reparation of the evil we do, insofar as we have ability to make that reparation. Without restitution or reparation, there is no forgiveness. St. Alphonsus relates the story of a rich man who had an ulcer in the arm and was near death. The priest urged him to restore the property he had unjustly acquired. But the man refused, saying that if he did so, his 3 sons would be left without money. He was about to die. He was not to enjoy this property. But he said, okay, if I give the property, my children will be left without money. The priest then said he knew of a cure for the rich man's disease. Now, the priest was using a trick. He told him, a living person must allow his hand to be burned, and while still raw, be applied to the ulcer. Eager to get well, the rich man had his 3 sons called, but not one of them was willing to have his hand burned to cure his ulcer. The priest then said, see, no one of your sons will burn a hand for you, yet you are willing to burn in hell fire for all eternity, only to leave them your wealth. The rich man's eyes were opened, and he consented to make restitution. This story could help him to understand that he was willing to go to hell for the sake of his 3 sons, to enjoy his stolen property. And actually, even for them, they would not have been allowed to keep this property because it was a stolen property. It means even for the 3 sons, they would have been guilty to accept. And they would have also gone to hell if they were to keep to keep this property. Now this is for an unjust action. Your will was bad when you stole or when you damaged. But now someone who was not willing to do evil, he has accidentally damaged the property of someone else through no fault of himself. It's just an accident, and he's not even guilty. He is not obliged to repair the damage unless now if civil law oblige him to do so because of a judgment. I imagine you have an employee in a company. He does a mistake when he is working and he breaks a machine. He is not obliged to pay back the machine, okay? Because it's just a mistake. He is not guilty of being willing to break the machine. But now, if you do it out of revenge, and you say, okay, I will revenge against my boss and I will break and damage a machine, now you have to pay back the machine if you want to be forgiven. And this is why still the Catechism is saying the employee are bound to take reasonable care of the property of the employer. They have also to care for the property. Maybe they are not forced to pay back because they broke something, but they have to take care and they have to be careful. Now, if we have to give back to the owner stolen goods, are we obliged to give back the good itself or the money, the value? Both. Both are possible. Or you give back what has been stolen, or the value whenever we are able. Because actually, and this is happening quite often, people are unable to give back, even if they want. You have this man from Karanguare. He is quite poor. He has stolen a lot of money, and in 3 days, the money is spent. And now he realizes that he has done something very bad, and he wants to go for confession. And now the priest said, now, you have to give back the money. Yes, Father, I know, and I wish. But I have drunk everything with my friends. The money has totally disappeared. I know I should give back, but how can I give back now? How can I give back now? And it becomes impossible to give back. Now, what do we do? We will speak about that. First of all, you have a quote of the Bible. If any man steal an ox or a sheep and kill or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for 1 ox and 4 sheep for 1 sheep. So you can see in the Old Testament, you had not only to restore, but to pay for a penalty. 5 cows for one stolen, and 4 sheep for 1 stolen. Now, if the rightful owner is dead, the property must be restored to his heirs, to the children. If there are no children, no heirs, it must be given to the poor or for some charitable purpose. If the thief cannot restore all he has stolen, he must restore all he can. Donc you stole 5 million and you have already wasted 3, but you still have 2. You must give back these 2 for a beginning. If he has used what has been stolen, he must repair the damage done by restoring the equivalent. If he cannot restore anything, he must at least pray for the person he has wronged. And this can happen, you know. You have a very poor person, and this person was stupid and set in fire the car of someone else. And now the car is burning. Of course, you have to pay back for the car, but you cannot pay back for the car. You have no money, you are poor. What can you do? At least if you can do nothing else, you must pray for the soul of the owner, you know. If you cannot, no, you must do something. And at least you can pray in order to repay what you can repay the way you can. If poverty or some other circumstance prevents the thief from making restitution immediately, he must resolve to do so as soon as possible and must make an effort to fulfill his resolution. Restitution may be made secretly. You can do it publicly. You can go back to the person and say, oh, I am sorry, I stole these things. I am sorry, I give you back now. But you are not obliged actually to do it publicly. You can also do it secretly as long as you give back. For instance, a money order may be sent with a fictitious name, or you can use the priest to give back to the right person the amount of money. And the priest will not reveal your name. He will just say, someone wants to give you back this money that he stole to you. If we find an article of value, look, you are in the compound and you find a good phone under the gazebo. We must strive to discover the owner in order to restore the article. It is a moral obligation to look for the owner. And the more valuable is the good, the greater is the obligation to discover the owner and restore it to him. Now, if after all our earnest efforts we fail to find the rightful owner, we may keep the article. A mason engaged in repairing the stone wall of a building found a metal box hidden in a cavity in the wall. He broke open the box and found that it contained jewels of all descriptions. Now, he concealed the box and took it home without telling anyone what he had found. A few days afterward, wishing to realize some money on the jewels, he took out several from the box and offered them to a jeweler for sale. The jeweler immediately had him arrested by the police. Because actually the jewels he had offered were recognized as having belonged to a rich merchant who had been robbed and murdered a month before. The mason was unable to prove that he had merely found the box of jewels. He was tried and imprisoned for life for the murder of the merchant. He was only thinking to steal some property he found in a house, but he went far beyond. Of course, he was guilty. He could not keep what he found in the wall. He should have looked for the right owner, and probably the owner of the house. Or, because he found something, he should have maybe reported the case to the police. But you cannot keep what you find without looking for the right owner. Now, what does the 10th commandment forbid? Forbids all desire to take or to keep unjustly what belongs to other people, and also forbids envy at their success. We are permitted to desire the property of others only when we propose to obtain it by legitimate means, like by purchase or exchange. Among those guilty of violating the 10th commandments are those who desire or resolve to steal or cause loss to others, even if they don't do it effectively. Someone who is dreaming about how to organize a theft has already committed it in his heart. Children who wish the death of their parents in order to obtain their property. This is, of course, malicious and a sin against the 10th commandment. Those who wish for war, epidemics, storm, fire, legal trouble, social outbreaks, or other calamities, in order to profit from the resulting high prices of their products. Now we speak about people who wish. What about people who organize these things in order to sell better price? Someone who wish the business of other people to go bad for his own business to go better is guilty against this commandment. You cannot wish your concurrent to fail in order for your business to grow. This is against this commandment. It is unjust. The difference between the 7th and the 10th commandments is, for the 10th commandment, you are not obliged to give back because you took nothing. Okay? Because it has never materialized, you have nothing to give back. But you are guilty the same way because your will is bad. Your will is busy willing something wrong and bad. And this is what is a sin, is to want what is bad, even if you don't do it. But now you don't have to give back because actually you didn't take it. Are guilty of this a sin against his commandments those who deny the right of private property, such as socialists or communists. Communism is an extreme form of socialism, a form of politico-economic system in which ownership of all property is vested in civil society, which then will control both production and distribution. It has always been condemned by the Pope. And actually, the governments in many countries today are also willing to steal the private property or to prevent private property. And this is also against the right. And if you support this kind of ideology, like socialist ideology, actually it has happened in Europe already. The government has said if there is an economical crisis, the bank will be allowed to take in the saving of the people in order to avoid the bank to collapse. It means your saving don't really belong to you because in case of need, the bank can take what they need to save their activity. And it has already arrived in Chypre. They did it, and they have passed the laws in many other countries to do it in case of need. But this is theft. The government is not allowed to do that. Let us be keen on justice. Because these sins, to be forgiven, you have to repair them. And that is not only actually for theft, it can also happen when you ruin the reputation of someone unjustly. Because you cause a damage. And this damage, you are forced to repair it. And it can be difficult. This is why let us respect the property of other people and never attend to it.